This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
It's 5 o'clock here on your Monday. Good morning to you. I'm Rafael Sanchez.
And I'm Meredith Barrick. Here's what's making headlines on this March 23rd. Now at 5 o'clock, Indiana's coronavirus cases continue to rise, reaching more than 200 over the weekend. We're breaking down the latest numbers.
Plus, grocery stores are not the only business running out of stock during the coronavirus outbreak. Why one gun-owned store owner says customers are also hurrying to buy a lot of firearms.
And with school closed, teachers and students can only do classes online. What some local teachers are doing to support and bring smiles to their students' faces. But first, we do want to get a check of our Storm Team 6 forecast.
Yeah, Meredith, we're dealing with some patchy fog here this morning across the area, and it's not a huge issue if you do have to take to the roadways, and you just saw an update there, and visibilities are still all above 2 miles, and I always tell you it's that 1 mile threshold that we run into when we start to run into problems as far as visibilities go on the roadway. So as long as we stay above that, you will notice the difference here this morning as you walk out the door, but we are not dealing again with any real dense fog and not expecting a dense fog advisory whatsoever. As far as what's going on precipitation-wise, there is some patchy drizzle out there. And to the north, you notice there's some snow, and they did have some minor snow accumulation yesterday across the northern part of central Indiana. But that will move off pretty quickly. If you are seeing some patchy drizzle this morning, that too will start to come to an end as this system to our north moves to the east, and then this rain to our south pushes off to the east as well. And it'll kind of pull the moisture and eventually the cloud cover with it as well, as we'll see clouds slowly decrease as the afternoon goes on. So it's not a terrible day today. You're just going to have to be a little bit patient. We're in the 30s and 40s this morning, and eventually by this afternoon, temperatures climb up to right around 47 degrees. We're still below normal with those mostly cloudy skies, but you will be able to get out and about. Today is the coolest day of the entire week. We'll talk more about the warmer temperatures heading our way coming up in just a few minutes.
TK, thank you so much. A look outside right now. Good morning to our friends in Muncie, Avon, and Martinsville. A live look at I-465 on Madison Avenue on the city's south side. As you can see, traffic is light on this Monday morning, but as Todd mentioned, there you see some of that fog that's developed around the area. Meredith?
Now to the latest on the coronavirus outbreak here in Indiana. 3 more deaths have been reported, and the number of cases reaching more than 200 this morning. Here's a look at how the number of cases has increased since Thursday of last week. On Thursday, 56 cases were reported. Friday, those that tested positive rose to 79, then 126 on Saturday. On Sunday, that number jumped to 201. Our Kelsey Anderson is breaking down those numbers and joins us live with the latest from the Indiana State Department of Health, excuse me. Good morning, Kelsey.
Well, good morning. As of last night, the Indiana State Department of Health has reported 7 Hoosiers have died from the coronavirus. So far, nearly 1,500 people have been tested for COVID-19 and 201 have tested positive. Marion County has the most positive cases right now. That area increased from 46 cases to 82 from Saturday to Sunday. New this morning, Eli Lilly announcing they will offer drive-through COVID-19 testing for Indianapolis healthcare workers. Now, this is only for healthcare workers. That includes physicians, nurses, pharmacists, and allied healthcare professionals. And a physician's order is required. The tests are free, according to the news release. To learn more about the testing and to stay up to date with the latest on the coronavirus in Indiana, download the RTV6 News app. Working for you, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
Kelsey, thank you so much. The time now is 5:03, and residents in Warren Township are also working to help healthcare workers, as you can see. Members of the high school and the Walker Career Center, they donated 1,400 N95 masks and 700 pairs of protective eyewear to Community Hospital East this weekend. They're now calling on other school districts to do the same. Community Health says they appreciate the donations and are coordinating efforts for those who wish to make mask donations.
COVID-19 is not stopping police from protecting and serving their communities. RTV6 checked in with IMPD to get an idea of how police departments are helping protect their officers from the coronavirus. The department says officers are trying to file as many reports as possible over the phone for crimes like theft and harassment. And police say there are ways you can help.
Maybe if people could call in, and when they call or when they need our services, let us know if you're having flu symptoms. Let us know if you're having the symptoms. And so that we know preemptively that we can put on our PPE or our gloves or stand outside.
IMPD is working with IEMS to develop a protocol on how to respond to runs involving people who are sick.
Now let's take you to Hendricks County, because starting today, the town of Plainfield is opening a resident assistance program to help those most at risk with their basic needs during this outbreak. That program will help deliver prepaid groceries and medications that are all ready for pickup. For those not able to order online, they can contact them to area churches or other community resources. They're taking precautions to make sure the assistance from town employees will be safe. All will go through a health screening and drop off items at people's doorsteps. Now, to contact them, use the number on your screen. That number is 317-839-2561. Assistance will be available from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Monday through Friday.
As many industries are struggling, there is one that is doing more business than usual: the firearms industry. Our Alyssa Donovan is live this morning at Indy Trading Post. Alyssa, that store briefly had to close over the weekend simply because they ran out of stock. That's incredible.
That's right, Meredith. And the owner tells me that they did so many sales on Saturday that they had to close on Sunday because they ran out of items to sell. Now, they are working on restocking. They're planning to open this morning at 10 a.m. But even though they were closed yesterday on Sunday, this parking lot was constantly full of people coming to try and get those firearms. And last week, they also had quite a bit of business. Before the brief closure, the store had been busy since Monday, with staff staying several hours past closing time to complete sales. Typically, they do see an increase in sales during tax season, but he says nothing like this. And I asked what is going so quickly, and the owner tells me everything and anything. They're struggling to keep firearms and ammunition in stock. He also says they are getting a lot of first-time firearm owners at this time. And while it's their right to purchase, he wants people to do their homework.
Try to educate yourself on the firearm. Try to be careful. Once this settles down, if you still want to have the firearm, take a class or a course, and just be safe with it, because I think there's a lot of people that have never owned firearms that are buying firearms right now.
And I spoke with a few customers, several of them telling me they're purchasing a gun right now because they're worried with the uncertainty of how COVID-19 is impacting the country. And just to put it in perspective with how many guns were sold here at the Indy Trading Post last week, the owner tells me in just one day last week, they did as many sales as they typically do in 1 month. Reporting live, Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Wow, Alyssa, thank you very much. The COVID-19 outbreak has postponed or canceled thousands of events across the country. And with games and concerts on hold comes the questions of how to get a ticket refund. At Bankers Life Fieldhouse, a refund for canceled events will be available from the place or website tickets were purchased, such as the Arena box office or Ticketmaster. Bankers Life and its box office are closed after Governor Holcomb and Mayor Joe Hogsett put limits on the size of events that can be held during the coronavirus pandemic. The box office is closed until at least March 30th.
The time now is 5:08 as schools across our state remain closed until May the 1st. Teachers in Noblesville want their students to know that they are loved and that they are thinking of them during this difficult time. So you see, on Sunday, teachers from North Elementary School, as you can see there, decorated their vehicles and drove through their students' neighborhoods. They honked, they waved, they cheered to their students from a distance, of course. Those we talked to say this is a great way to show how much the students and teachers are missing each other, and from a distance away, how they're showing their support and their love.
Do you miss school?
Yes, I do.
Why?
Because I love my teachers and I miss them.
Just for them today to go out on their own time to go say hi really makes the kids feel loved.
A district spokeswoman says other schools in Noblesville like the idea so much that they're now doing their own parades coming up. You see, Noble Crossing will hold their parade this afternoon at 1 o'clock, and White River will hold their parade at 3:30.
Oh, such a fantastic idea and something to give those kids to look forward to. Well, there is so much information out there. We want to help you and your family navigate the coronavirus. The latest information is all in one place, including all the event cancellations, postponements, and meal information. You can head to the IndyChannel.com. Here at 10 after 5 on your Monday morning, meteorologist Todd Clausen is looking at our forecast.
Yeah, and it's a pretty quiet forecast here. It's not the best forecast, but overall it's pretty quiet. We have a little bit of patchy fog. We have a little bit of patchy drizzle, none of which is going to hamper your morning commute if you do have to get in your car and commute into work. You're going to have to bundle up a little bit. It's rather chilly out there, and this is on the heels of the past 2 days when we had some snowflakes on Saturday and yesterday. A little more of a significant wintry mix move through, but with the exception of that drizzle, we're looking at mostly cloudy skies this morning. That drizzle you can't even pick up. Some snow showers to the north, but nothing off to our west. That's the drier weather we enjoy this afternoon. More on that coming up in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you so much. Issues between lawmakers could slow down government relief to businesses coming up, while some lawmakers are disagreeing with the new economic stimulus bill.
And Olympic officials are considering major adjustments to the Summer Games in Tokyo. Still ahead, the scenarios they're looking into, including postponement. We'll be right back.
American Idol, new tonight on ABC.
Welcome back. We're taking a live look at I-465 at Madison Avenue. Just a few cars and trucks out there to kick off your Monday morning. We expect traffic to be light as it has been for the past week. No issues to report.
We'll get back to more on the coronavirus in a moment. But first, Metro Police investigating a homicide on the city's northwest side. It happened just around 7 near I-65 and Lafayette Road. When police arrived, they found a wounded man in the passenger seat of a car. That man later died. Detectives are now working to find out who else was in that vehicle. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers.
This afternoon, the Senate is expected to vote again on a stimulus bill aiming to help the U.S. economy struggling from the coronavirus. It failed in a vote Sunday. Democrats are fighting the Republican proposal, saying it favors big corporations over the American worker. Both Minority Leader Chuck Schumer and Majority Leader Mitch McConnell spoke after the vote. McConnell was visibly angry on the Senate floor.
So we're fiddling here. Fiddling with the emotions of the American people, fiddling with the markets, fiddling with our health care. If we aren't able to act tomorrow, it'll be because of our colleagues on the other side continuing to dicker when the country expects us to come together and address this problem.
We Democrats want to move forward with a bipartisan agreement. Unfortunately, the legislation has not improved enough in the past 3 hours to earn the necessary votes to proceed.
The Senate is expected to cast their votes around 1 this afternoon. The package needs 60 votes to pass.
Let's stay on Capitol Hill. Senator Rand Paul has been diagnosed with the coronavirus. The Kentucky Republican is the first senator to test positive. He made that announcement on Twitter, saying that he feels fine and is in quarantine. Paul says he was tested out of caution due to his extensive travel. According to his staff, he's expected to be back in the Senate after his quarantine period ends. Now, in the House, 2 representatives have also tested positive for COVID-19.
Ohio Governor Mike DeWine has announced he is enacting a stay-at-home order for his state. DeWine said it will start tonight at midnight and last for 2 weeks. The order prohibits all gatherings and public and private events outside of a single household. People may only leave their homes for reasons related to health, to get necessary supplies, outdoor activities, or jobs. Leaving home for any other reason will be punishable by a second-degree misdemeanor. The coronavirus has infected more than 350 people in Ohio.
At 5:17, Olympic organizers say they're debating postponing the Summer Olympic Games in light of the coronavirus pandemic. The International Olympic Committee Executive Board announced the considerations, but says it is not looking to cancel for now. One consideration is trying to book the Tokyo venues for a later date. Organizers are also looking into whether the games can start in July as planned, but modify operations. They say they want to be fair to the athletes who spent years training and to fans who already paid for their trips. Canada has already announced they will not be sending their athletes if the games are not delayed.
Tinder is offering a deal so people can connect with more people despite social distancing. The online dating company is offering its passport service for free, which allows users to change their locations. That way they can start conversations with people who live in other states or countries. It usually costs $9.99 to have the feature. Tinder says it might help people connect with each other while they're stuck at home. The offer will be open through the end of April. Well, that's one way to entertain yourself. All right, Todd. People, though, have been itching to get outside since that is one of the few things they can do during this time.
And I encourage you to do so here over the coming days, as temperatures will be in the 50s, they'll be in the 60s. There will be some rain that you'll have to kind of avoid at times, but no day here going forward is going to be a complete washout. Now, this morning we're dealing with some visibility issues. The only real trouble spot is here in northeast portions of the state. So if you are traveling this morning up I-69 towards the Fort Wayne area, that's where the fog is the most dense. 2-mile visibility here in Indianapolis. That's reduced visibility, but should not cause any issues on the roadways. You have to get to that 1 mile or below threshold for that to start to happen. Now, we are picking up a little bit of light snow here still towards Lafayette up into the Peru area. Everybody else dealing with a little bit of patchy drizzle. If you are seeing the snow, that'll move out pretty quickly this morning. No additional accumulation, but you got a good coating of the snow on the ground in northern portions of central Indiana up towards Monticello. A viewer sent me a picture and the ground was completely covered yesterday evening. And the clouds are in place this morning across the area. So it's damp, it's dreary as you walk out the door, but things will start to get better as the day goes on, as this cluster of rain moves off towards the east, and then this snow moves off into Canada. It'll pull the moisture with it and thus the clouds with it as well. So the skies will slowly start to brighten as we get into the afternoon hours, and TrueCast is kind of painting that picture here as we work our way throughout the afternoon and into the evening hours. So you just got to be patient. I guess if you wanted to go out for a walk with the kids later on this afternoon and this evening, probably be a little bit better. It'll be brighter and it'll also be just a little bit warmer. We're in the 30s and 40s right now, depending on where you are as far as where we're going over the next 12 hours. Here's your hour-by-hour breakdown, and you can see by the noon hour 42 degrees and eventually into the upper 40s for your afternoon high later on this evening. Jump to tomorrow, we make the push up into the 50s. That's the good news. Tomorrow, the first half of the day is dry with some sunshine, and then we'll bring some rain chances in late in the day tomorrow. So let me go back over to TrueCast for you, and this is Tuesday. This is tomorrow afternoon. Partly cloudy skies to start. The clouds will increase, and then during the evening hours, we'll start to bring some rain showers back into the forecast. Doesn't look like any significant rainfall, so that is good news. But as we go throughout the week, there will be the chance of rain Wednesday, Thursday, and then some thunderstorms on Friday and Saturday. But notice those temperatures. We get back up into the 60s for your afternoon highs.
Todd, thank you. We're taking a live look at I-465 at US 31 Meridian Street up on the north side. Just a few cars and trucks out there to start off your Monday morning. We anticipate traffic will be like this for most of the day as many people are home from work and school right now.
So Meredith, some good news for a popular Indiana amusement park. Indiana Beach may be getting a second chance. The owner of Indiana Beach in Monticello says the resort could reopen this year under new ownership. A California-based Apex Parks Group owns Indiana Beach and announced last month that it was closing because of financial issues. The company says no deal has yet been made, but potential buyers have shown interest in acquiring the vacation destination, which would be great for the hundreds of people who work at that amusement park.
After a mysterious release and then unreleased, Donald Glover has officially unveiled his new album. The Grammy Award-winning artist, also known as Childish Gambino, initially dropped his album March 15th. It is also named after the date 3/15/20, but then without explanation, it disappeared. Glover has now brought back the music with two new options. One is a standard track-by-track version. The other is a full uninterrupted stream. The album features several guest appearances, including 21 Savage and Ariana Grande. Many are trying to find fun ways to make it through quarantine or lockdown from the coronavirus. After the break, the cute game one nursing home came up with to help lift residents' spirits. This is so good. We'll be right back.
0 first month payment and 0 to its signing. Practically just sign then drive.
The time now is 5:25, and you really have to see this because people around the world are doing what they can to maintain a sense of normalcy, and because of the closures and the lockdowns and quarantines due to the coronavirus. So I want to take you to this nursing home in the United Kingdom. They've started a new old game of sorts. The residents play a life-size version of the children's board game, Hungry Hungry Hippos, without the board game. You see, they use plastic balls and makeshift hippo mouths made of from plastic baskets attached to the broomsticks. I love this. Residents there have been on lockdown since March the 12th, meaning they cannot get visits from loved ones. In addition to the game, the general manager says they're also busy with cooking, exercise, and craft sessions. I would love to lead that game right there.
Well,
I would love that.
And that's something you could do with your kids too. So that spans all ages.
That's awesome.
You know what? I would play that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved playing that game with my cousins when we were at Grandma's house back in the day.
Yep, big favorite in the Barrick household, that's for sure. Well, we are glad to see them with a smile on their face.
That's
I know
awesome.
it's hard. You know, we were just chatting about it during the commercial break. It's hard for a lot of folks who are in these facilities who can't see their loved ones. So it's good to see some good news coming out of there.
Yeah, and it's nice to see the workers too getting them involved and doing those kinds of things as well. So, all right, as you walk out the door this morning, there's a little bit of patchy fog. There's a little bit of patchy drizzle as well. And temperatures are cool. We're at 32 in Logansport, where we had some snow yesterday, 40 in Bloomington. As the day goes on, the clouds will thin. Skies will brighten a little bit, but we'll never get rid of the clouds completely. But the second half of the day will definitely be better, a little bit warmer as well, as temperatures climb into the upper 40s. The time now is 5:27. You're watching Good Morning Indiana right here on RTV6. We're back in just a few minutes.
Today at 10 on RTV6. This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Good morning on this Monday morning. The number of coronavirus cases spiking in our state over the weekend. We're working for you and breaking down the latest numbers. Governor Holcomb has activated the Indiana National Guard to help with the state's COVID-19 response. There you see them at work. This morning, we're taking a closer look at what they're doing to help Hoosiers through the outbreak.
But first, we want to welcome you in here on our Monday morning. Thanks for joining us. We once again are continuing to practice social distancing as we continue to cover coronavirus here. I don't think any of us expected this to go on as long as it is now, so we'll be doing this for quite some time
so,
here.
Meredith, good morning to you.
Good morning. The new normal here. Thankfully, though, the weather outside starting to improve. Todd, I like the way that your forecast looks as the week goes on.
Yeah, you know, yesterday was tough, right? It was chilly.
Yes.
We had that rain and snow mixture, made it tough to get out of the house. There will be much better weather ahead as warmer temperatures start to work in. We'll still have some rain chances here and there, but I think you'll be able to kind of pick your times to get out and about. So as you walk out the door this morning, you did not need the umbrella, but I might recommend having the light rain jacket. There's a little bit of patchy drizzle, so if you don't want to get your hair a little wet, you may want to just have a rain jacket with a hood on. But we're not going to deal with any significant rainfall here throughout the course of the day today. Temperatures are in the 30s and 40s, 40 in Bloomington, 37 in Lafayette, as well as Greenfield. It's 36 as you make your way over into the Richmond area. And to the north, there are some snow showers moving through, where we did have some minor accumulation in the northern portions of the state yesterday. Otherwise, we're just dealing with the clouds and drizzle. That'll all start to come to an end as the system starts to make its way off towards the east. So going forward, brighter skies this afternoon. We never completely get rid of the clouds, but the skies will start to brighten for some sunshine. And with that added sunshine, high temperatures today will be close to 50 degrees.
Todd, thank you. Let's head outside now. It's 5:32 in the morning. Good morning to Speedway, Noblesville, and Franklin. You just heard Todd talking about that light drizzle, the light fog. As you can see there, those light headlight beam lights heading in our direction. You can see that the fog is still there on the road. This is a live look at I-70 at Midhofer Road. Good morning to you as you head off to work this morning.
Now to the latest on the coronavirus. More than 200 Hoosiers have tested positive as community partners continue to work together to flatten the curve. Our Kelsey Anderson joins us with the latest from the Indiana State Department of Health. Kelsey, good morning.
Well, good morning. As of last night, the Indiana State Department of Health has reported 7 Hoosiers have died from the coronavirus. So far, nearly 1,500 people have been tested for COVID-19 and 201 have tested positive. Marion County has the most positive cases right now. That area increased from 46 cases to 82 from Saturday to Sunday. New this morning, Eli Lilly announcing they will offer drive-through COVID-19 testing for Indianapolis healthcare workers. Now, this is only for healthcare workers. That includes physicians, nurses, pharmacists, and allied healthcare professionals. And a physician's order is required. The tests are free, according to the news release. To learn more about the testing and to stay up to date with the latest on the coronavirus in Indiana, download the RTV6 News app. Working for you, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
Kelsey, thank you so much. Now at 5:33, thousands of Indiana National Guardsmen, they're ready to respond, helping the state with COVID-19's response. And this morning, some are already working to get critical supplies to local hospitals. In a video released over the weekend, the governor and the Indiana National Guard, they provided an update on how soldiers and airmen are helping Hoosiers. Now, troops are part of the critical planning of meetings with state agencies to determine their needs. They've also been working to help sort and pack shipments of medical supplies for area hospitals.
At Stout Field in Indianapolis, we are actively working with the Indiana Department of Transportation to assist with the distribution of critical medical equipment and supplies to those hospitals throughout the state with urgent needs.
Guardsmen with specific skills are being identified to help in fields such as medical, logistic, or communications. The troops are trained to support local agencies and help Hoosiers during this time of need.
One industry seeing a steep increase in sales, gun stores. They've been extremely busy as of late, and our Alyssa Donovan is live this morning outside Indy Trading Post. Alyssa, the owner of that store told you they have had a non-stop stream of business.
That's right. I stopped by here on Friday and the place was completely packed. And then I talked to the owner and he says Saturday it was even busier. So busy, they ended up having to close on Sunday because they simply ran out of inventory. It started ramping up on Monday and they say it got so busy that they took the phone off the hook and they shut down their website to eliminate online orders because it was just so overwhelming. So this increase started Monday and it really increased every day last week. Staff members staying late to complete background checks and purchases. While I was in the store, the owner was calling distributors trying to get more inventory. On Friday night, they received 2 truckloads of firearms and ammunition. All of that was gone by Saturday evening. The owner says it's unfortunate that their successful week has to do with people buying out of fear. I spoke with a customer who said that's exactly why he is purchasing a firearm.
People are afraid. I just want to be ready, protect myself and my family.
And I'm told background checks are also taking a bit longer than usual as well due to that increased number of applications. And as I said, the store was completely sold out of inventory on Saturday, so they did decide to close up on Sunday. They're working to restock, and the owner is hoping to be open this morning at 10 a.m. Reporting live, Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Alyssa, thank you. The city of Indianapolis working with local non-for-profit organizations to help the homeless population during this pandemic. The city has placed 15 hand washing stations throughout downtown to help control the spread of the virus. The Indianapolis Office of Public Health and Safety and Horizon House, they've teamed up to support services to Hoosiers in need. Now, beginning today, Horizon House will offer verbal screenings for COVID-19 symptoms. The organization will also provide hygiene kits, socks, and other essentials as needed and as available.
Working together, people in the sewing community are answering the call to help as healthcare workers across the country are dealing with a shortage of personal protective equipment, things like gloves and face masks. Jessica Oldfield, who lives in Muncie, received a call from a friend who works at a midwife clinic in Nashville saying they were short on masks. Jessica had extra fabric on hand, so she got busy using 100% cotton, a pattern, and extra elastic. She's already made more than 20.
Just feeling like I had some purpose with my time of being home. That's what I told her right away. I was like, thank you for giving me something meaningful to do with all this time that we are just stuck at home with.
Really good. Jessica has reached out to clinics in Muncie where she plans to send extra that she has made. We reached out to the Indiana State Department of Health, and while they say any protection is better than none, they do not have any information on specific guidelines for making masks at home. The CDC says in settings where they are not available, healthcare personnel can use bandanas or scarves when caring for patients with COVID-19 as a last resort. But these homemade masks are not considered personal protective equipment since their capability to protect is still unknown. The CDC says caution should be used when considering this option. The homemade option should ideally be used in combination with a face shield that covers the entire front and sides of the face. As the sewing community unites to try and help those who need masks, Joann Fabrics is seeing an increase in people buying material. We talked to a manager at the store near 86th and Allisonville Road. Today, they plan to give away mask making kits on a first come, first served basis. They open at 9 a.m.
This morning, we're reminding you that the Red Cross is in urgent need of blood. And among the first on the scene to help is, of course, an IndyCar fan favorite driver, James Hinchcliffe. As we've told you, the 33-year-old knows the importance of the Red Cross. The organization helped save his life 5 years ago. Hinch was in an accident at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, as you may recall. There it is there that nearly cost him his life. So when the organization put out the call for help for Hinch, there was no question whether he'd show up.
We put out the email or send him a text, and his right response is, you tell me where, wind me up, point me in the right direction, and I'm there. And I got to tell you, it's genuine.
If you don't have money to give, you've got blood to give. Everybody's got a little extra time on their hands right now, so really encouraging everybody to go redcrossblood.org, find a drive, and try and come out and donate.
So let's put this in perspective. Since the coronavirus outbreak, the Red Cross has lost more than 2,700 drives, blood drives, nationwide. That's about 87,000 pints of blood. For more information on where and how you can donate, head to the RTV6 app and click on this story. Now it's 5:40. Let's check on your forecast with the one and only TK, Todd Clausen. Good morning, Todd.
All right, with so many people home with the coronavirus, you're probably looking at opportunities here to get out and about and go for a walk or just do something with the kids outside or your significant other. Well, today your rain chances are pretty small. There's just a little bit of patchy drizzle outside this morning. Otherwise, we are going to be dry for the remainder of the day. It's not the warmest day. In fact, today's the coldest day of the week as far as high temperatures go, but you'll have the opportunity to get out and about. Tomorrow, most of the day is dry. The rain chances tomorrow do not arrive until late in the day, so we'll put tomorrow in the slight risk category as far as rain chances go. Not severe weather a lot of times when we talk about slight risk, but no severe weather. And then as we work our way into Wednesday and Thursday, we kind of bring the rain chances up to the moderate level. A little better rain chances those 2 days, but still not all day rains. You'll be able to time rain showers out. As far as what's happening right now, Storm Team 6 radar is pretty quiet, just lots of clouds. We'll talk about the rest of today and look ahead to the entire week for you coming up in your 7-day planning forecast in just a few minutes.
Next on Good Morning Indiana, a fire rips through a home on the city's north side, killing one man. This morning, we're looking at what investigators say may have started this fire.
Plus, hospitals are feeling the brunt of the coronavirus outbreak. Ahead this morning, why some experts say the worst of the virus is still ahead of us. It's 5:41. We'll be right back. Developing this morning, an investigation is underway after a deadly house fire on the north side. Firefighters were called to Norwaldo Avenue in a neighborhood near Keystone Avenue and Kessler Boulevard Sunday morning. When they arrived, they found heavy smoke from the home and an adult male inside dead. IMPD homicide investigators are working the case with IFD as standard protocol. Also developing this morning, state and county officials continue to investigate after 6 people were killed when a bridge collapsed in floodwater. This happened Friday morning in Franklin County. Investigators say a bridge, Laurel, which is between Cincinnati and Indianapolis, was destroyed after heavy storms led to high water. 5 of the victims' bodies were found during a search Friday. The 6th body was found Saturday morning. 35-year-old Felina Lewis and her 3 children, 4-year-old Kylie Mosier, 7-year-old Elysium Lewis, Lewis and 13-year-old Ethan Williams all died. 47-year-old Sean Roberts and 48-year-old Burton Spurlock, who were in another car, also died.
The time now is 5:46 as hospitals sound the alarm about the growing COVID-19 crisis. A U.S. Navy hospital ship is now headed to Los Angeles with its 800 medical professionals on board. As ABC's Kenneth Moten reports, many hospitals are already running low on protective gear, and we may not see the number of cases peak for another month.
This morning, growing concern inside America's hospitals as doctors on the front lines plead for help.
It's a scary time to be a doctor.
The long-feared surge of coronavirus patients has hit New York City. Now with more than 10,000 confirmed patients, roughly 5% of the world's cases. This image on social media showing medical staff at one New York hospital wearing garbage bags as gowns. At a Brooklyn hospital, doctors say they are reusing masks, rubbing them down with hand sanitizer between shifts.
Literally the epicenter of this American crisis.
Internal memos written by Columbia University's chief surgeon report a 50% increase in coronavirus patients, burning through 40,000 masks every day. Mayor Bill de Blasio says some of the city's hospitals will run out of protective gear in the next 10 days. He's asking President Trump for the military's help to get the much-needed supplies delivered.
We have to get these supplies here very rapidly from around the country. No one does that better than the military. Bluntly, we're going to get to a point where there are people waiting for a bed, where there's people waiting for a ventilator, and some will die who did not need to die.
Dr. Cornelia Griggs, a mother of two, is a pediatric surgeon who works with coronavirus patients at Columbia University Medical Center. She says she's worried the hospital could run out of masks, eye protection, and gloves. Her message on Twitter: don't make us orphan our two toddlers.
It's forcing me to feel like I have to live apart from my children in order to protect them, and that breaks my heart.
Kenneth Moten, ABC News, New York.
Canada and Australia are threatening to withdraw from the 2020 Olympic Games if they aren't postponed. The Games are scheduled to start in July in Tokyo. Canadian officials say they're willing to help the IOC search for alternatives. Meanwhile, in the U.S., the Olympic Training Center in Colorado is closed through at least April. Athletes there say they worry they won't have enough time to train and prepare if the Games are held in July as scheduled. The IOC says it will make a final decision about the Games next month.
At 5:48, let's talk about the ship here behind me. A longer than expected cruise has finally docked in Hawaii. The Norwegian Jewel cruise docked at Honolulu Harbor on Sunday. The ship's propulsion system needs repair work, and the passengers on board have to come off before the work can begin. There are about 1,700 people on board that ship. Most are senior citizens. The cruise was supposed to end a couple of days ago, but they were turned away from other ports because of the coronavirus pandemic. Norwegian officials say they've made arrangements for the passengers to fly out of the airport in Honolulu.
It turns out the happiest place in the world isn't Disneyland. It's Finland. That's according to the United Nations World Happiness Report. This is the third year in a row Finland has been named the happiest place in the world. Nations are ranked on 6 key variables that support well-being: income, freedom, trust, healthy life expectancy, social support, and generosity. Denmark, Switzerland, Iceland, and Norway round out the top 5. And if you're wondering, the U.S. came in at number 18. That is up 1 spot from 19 last year. Here at 5:49, let's see if Todd's forecast makes us happy.
I like how they show the video of Finland in the summer and not in the middle of the winter.
or currently, where none of those people would be out and about around each other.
Yeah, but I don't doubt it. I heard great things about Scandinavia. All right, outside right now, we are dealing with some patchy drizzle, a little bit of patchy fog this morning as well. Nothing that is going to cause you issues on the roadways if you do have to get on them and head into the office. Several chances of rain this week, but also warmer temperatures. In fact, today is going to be the coldest high temperature that we have this entire week, and we could use some warmer temperatures after this past weekend when we were in the 30s on Saturday. Yesterday, we got into that rain and snow mixture where we did even have some accumulation here in northern locales, and we're still dealing with a few flurries up towards the Peru and over towards the Delphi and Monticello area, but nothing significant this morning. But the clouds definitely firmly firmly in place this morning. What we'll wait on is for this storm system to our south to push off towards the east. Snow to the north that heads east as well. And it becomes a pretty big storm system with quite a bit of snow for parts of Pennsylvania and upstate New York and New England. But we'll actually see our clouds start to thin out a little bit as the day goes on. This morning, though, they're going to be in place from really start to finish, and then they'll thin out throughout the course of the afternoon hours. And we'll get some sunshine in here. So if you plan your day out and you want to get outside with the kids, or maybe just go for a walk yourself if you don't have kids, this afternoon's probably better. It's warmer. It's a little bit brighter as temperatures will eventually climb up into the mid to upper 40s. This morning, we're in the low 30s to the north, right around 40 degrees in Bloomington as well as Bedford. Throughout the day today, temperatures eventually climb up to right around 47, 48 degrees with more sunshine again this afternoon compared to this morning. And then going forward in this forecast, rain does return starting tomorrow. The first half of tomorrow is pretty dry, but as we get into the afternoon hours, that's when the rain chances are going to start to ramp up across the area. And we're not looking at all-day rains tomorrow, but we're going to bring those scattered showers in during the evening hours. Temperatures tomorrow do make the jump up into the low to mid 50s across the area. And here's how it plays out on TrueCast. You see this rain just slowly creeping in. In fact, TrueCast is now, with the update that just came in, been slowing the rain down even a little bit more. So pretty confident most of the daytime hours tomorrow will be fairly dry for us across the area, with the exception maybe some western communities that get into a little bit of rain shower activity late in the afternoon and early in the evening. Temperatures, though, back into the 60s starting on Wednesday.
Todd, thank you so much. Let's take a live look outside. And good morning to Greenfield, Westfield, and Plainfield. This is a live look at 465 at 21st Street on the city's west side. As you can see, traffic is very light this morning. We expect that to be the case for the rest of the week and the next couple of weeks. And of course, as you can see there, a little fog out there, but all is well on the interstate system this morning. Meredith?
People come from all over the world this time of year to see Washington, D.C.'s iconic cherry blossoms, but given the current pandemic, officials are working to stop that. The nation's capital is reporting to mass street closures to keep large crowds away. It's even become a social media challenge to keep visitation low, using the hashtag #StayHomeCherryBlossomsChallenge. You can still view the signature trees online via the live bloom cam, plus watch a virtual video tour. It's 5:53. We'll be right back.
Made right in America.
If your kids are bored from staying at home, how about a message from Spider-Man to cheer them up? Jake Johnson voices the older version of Peter Parker in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. He says parents have been reaching out to him to say the movie is helping their kids get through the long days stuck at home. So he wants to help children cope. He says families can request he send their kids an encouraging voice message. They just have to email peterbparkersayshi@gmail.com. And Todd, last week you and I were talking, and I don't know the gentleman's name, but he does The Price is Right. And he is doing, you know, Todd Clausen, come on down, personalized messages for folks as well. So maybe if there's someone older in your family, like grandma or grandpa, who is a big Price is Right fan, you can opt for that personalized message.
Come on down, the announcer. So a lot of people are doing a lot of creative things here. And we're only a week into this for them, pretty much, or at least the quarantine here in central Indiana. 30s and 40s this morning. Storm Team 6 radar pretty quiet right now. You notice a few returns coming in here with a little bit of light snow in northern locations. Not going to see any accumulation additional on top of what you did see yesterday, but kind of just that damp and dreary feel. Going forward in this forecast, we'll lose the drizzle and fog this morning, then just mostly cloudy skies this afternoon with high temperatures that'll be topping off right around 47 degrees. Stay with us. Coming up at 6 o'clock, we'll have the latest news headlines, weather, and traffic. The time now is 5:57.